this is very beautiful. Oh, and sorry, I nearly hit you. Hi everyone, welcome to another studio vlog. Today I'm going to be showing you some books that have inspired me. The main ones that I want to show you are ones that they've inspired me to do the book Lenty Climbs Money Mountain. When I did this, I was trying to fit it into a category for 5 to 8 year olds. Or about that sort of age range. I realise now the story that I did for children of that age was probably a little bit too, not complex, but there was so much to it that I could have written a lot more. And I wish that I did create it so that there was more text on each page, because if you see how I have done it, the page has the illustration, but then it also has like a tiny amount of text. So it's not got loads and loads of text on it, but I did try my best within this book to get the words as big, but also as wordy as possible. Is that the right word? I tried to get as much words on the page, but then also not make it like a block of text. And I think that's because I wanted it to be for 5 to 8 age range, because I wanted it for the younger ages. Yeah, I wanted it for the younger market, so that's what I was doing at the time. But now I think that my illustrations, they do suit an older child. I'm thinking more towards 8 onwards, age 8 onwards. Probably 8 to 12 would be the best market for my illustrations, because as you can see, because I've got quite a detailed art style, it kind of works better in older books. Some of the books that I've got here, this is my favourite illustrated book of a classic fairy tale anyway. This one is a tale from Brothers Grimm, Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, but it's illustrated by Randall Jarrell, I think is how oh no, so sorry, it's translated by Randall Jarrell, and then pictures by Nancy Ekholm Burkert. I think that's how you're saying it. I really hope I'm not murdering that person's name. But the illustrations in this book are so beautiful. They're all traditional, hand drawn, I believe, watercolor and pencil, and they just, I just can't even explain how beautiful they are. They look like paintings that you'd have on the wall, basically. So they don't just belong in a book. I think these are the sort of beautiful designs that you could have on your wall. But if you know what sort of book an art book kind of is, it would be, so you have your illustration here, but then you also, the next page, if I can get it to flip, the next page would be text, and that's what I think I should have done more in my book, Lenty Climbs Money Mountain, because it would have meant that I could have my full story in the full text that I originally had, which I had a lot of text. I had I think it was 4 pages, A4 pages of text in 12 font, size 12 font. So there was a lot more text, but it would have meant that I could have done full page illustrations, but then also had a half page like this. Anyway, this is one of my favourite books. This is what inspired me from when I did my BA in fine art. So yeah, if you want to get this book, I will pop a link in the description down below, so you can see where to get it, but it's so lovely. I think I got mine secondhand off of Bookshop online, and my camera's running out of battery. I hope it doesn't go out. Oh well, we're just going to continue on. Hopefully it won't go out. Next one I want to show you is the Stinky Cheese Man and Other Fairly Stupid Tales. This is actually a book that I had when I was a child. I can't remember what age I was when I had this book. It's by John, again, Skyska and Lane Smith. I'm really sorry again, I've just murdered that person's name. But it's really funny. It's basically a load of tales in a book, which is what I'm sort of thinking that it might work well for my next book, is to have more tales in one, kind of like Brothers Grimm fairy tales books, compilations, books like Aesop fables, and, well, not fables, but you know, like that sort of thing, where you've got a collection of stories. I think might work better. But yeah, it's got lots of stories in it, like Jack's bean problem, which makes it sound funny. And then it's got the pictures incorporated with the text. The text is really cleverly done because it's different shapes and it's different sizes, and it just makes everything look all chopped up and more interesting looking. It's not like just a great big font. Like, this gets smaller and smaller as you go down, but it just works really well. I love it. And it's the sort of story that is really good to read out loud as well. So it's good for adults, it's good for children. It's, I would say, probably around 8 to 12 in the way that you would want a child to read it, but then also the parent could read it as well, which is what I was going for with my books. So hopefully this sort of layout may work better. I don't think exactly the same. I think this works really well for this book, but there's so many parts of it that just look so different to a lot of other books. It just stands out, and the illustrations are so good as well. The illustrations are beautiful. I'm not really sure actually what they are made from, like what media is used in them, but it looks a little bit like chopped up collage, almost collage looking, and also print, but then also it's probably pencil and ink, I would imagine, print, because some bits look like they've been printed. So yeah, I'm not sure, but that's a really good book, and I'll pop it in the link below if you want to get this one. Another book which is more arty, I would say, is a book called Wonderment. It's actually a foreign book. I'm not really sure, I can't remember what language it was in. I think it may have been a German book before, but this is the English copy. It's the Lisbeth Zwerger collection with a foreword by Peter Siss. I think that was a little bit better said than the other ones. But this again is another compendium of lots of stories from around the world. I think they're mostly like fables and folklore, but it's again sort of book where you've got a picture. We've got the Nutcracker in here, so that one's one of the more well-known. You've got pictures which are more like art board sort of pretty pictures, and then you've got your text next to it, but this I believe is in watercolor. I really like the style that they've got in this. There's another one there, the Uncle and the Nephew. I've not heard of that one myself, but they're all really beautiful pictures that again look like paintings, and they don't necessarily look like the sort of thing that you have in a very young child's book, so that's why I'm thinking older story may work better. I think this one as well can have quite a lot of text in it, so if I do write my stories, they'll have to be longer if I want it this thick anyway. This book looks like it is around about 200 pages long, which may be a bit longer than what I'm thinking, but again, there's just so many lovely illustrations in it. And yeah, I'll pop this down in the link below as well. This is a hardback, so it's more, it feels like a more special book. But I've ordered this online as well, and then there's a little illustration there by the contents, which is really sweet. So you got little pictures, and then you've also got big ones as well. So you know, you've got lots there that you could have a look at. And also it's just lovely just to flip through and have a look at the pictures. So that was one of the books that inspired me. And then probably one of my favourite books, a bit more modern, is The Tales of Beadle and Bard. And this is illustrated by probably my favourite illustrator, Chris Riddle. And I actually met him when I went to a book signing that he did, and I got it signed by Chris Riddle. How lovely is that? And I kind of fangirled a little bit, but it was so lovely just to see him. I only spoke to him for like a couple of minutes because there was such a long queue, but I just said I want to be an illustrator too, like you. But his design is for older children as well. I would say probably around that sort of age range, like just before teen. So, and I think maybe younger teens even he'll illustrate some books for. I can't remember what other books he's done, but I know that he's done, I think it's called Goth Girl. He did it, and it's just a dark sort of teen book, you know, with stories like that. But I've not read it. I've just seen the books on display in bookstores. And then this is, as you know, The Tales of Beadle and Bard. It's from Harry Potter, and it's the books that it's like their fable stories in the Harry Potter world, or fairy tale stories, but it's all about wizards and then some wizarding stories. And it, again, this has a lot of text, but then it's also got a lot of illustrations in it, which are both black and white and also watercolor, full color. And that is probably what I want to go towards, because I really want to see this in my books. Like, how beautiful is that? And I know that Chris Riddle uses a lot of yellow in his backgrounds. I think he uses it as a base to paint on, so you can see like that beautiful glow in the background. And that's actually what I have been inspired to do in my pictures, because I wanted to get the same sort of yellowy glow. It gives that, not yellowy, that sounds awful, but a golden glow. But yeah, I just wanted to get some sort of like a beautiful glowing in the background, and I think that's kind of the same in all of his pictures. They look really beautiful in the way that it glows. I'm going to show you on one of my illustrations, but just to get that beautiful yellow glow, that's what I wanted in my pictures. I used my favorite golden watercolor, and then I made it sort of similar. I took inspiration for the book cover as well, and so I guess I should have thought about the age range more with the look of the front of the book and everything, but you know, I think it works anyway. It works with my book, and it's my first book. It's not going to be perfect, but yeah, those are my favorite books. I've been still doing more development of the story for my new book. My recent book, that is not really sure, really early imagination going on, and that's going to be about my door, which I'm writing the story around at the moment. We went to a balloon festival, and that was in Bristol, and I went because we went down to see my sister, and we went to Bristol Balloon Fiesta, which was really cool, but we didn't see any balloons, which is really annoying because it was too bad weather. The weather was awful, so it meant that we couldn't actually do much there, and it was just a bit rainy. It's been very on and off rainy like recently anyway, so it's been hard to get out there and do stuff, but yeah, we did that. It just meant that we left a bit earlier. It was nice to go out though and just see what was there. I do hope one day I'll be able to go back and they'll actually have lots of balloons there, because I used to love seeing hot air balloons in the sky when I was little, and I just thought it'd be really cool and fun to see them all going up in the sky at the same time. Anyway, I hope that was interesting, and I hope that you enjoyed this vlog today. I'm going to update you with some more bits soon. I did miss uploading last week's video, and that's because I've been a little bit ill. I actually just had a bacterial infection in my throat. I think it was tonsillitis, but I've been on antibiotics and it's been horrible. But I've been feeling a lot better recently, so that's good. And then I'll get back to doing things more on time and getting things out. I'm not going to stop with the vlogging, it's just that I had a little bit of a break unexpectedly, which is really annoying. I hope that you enjoyed today's video, and if you want to subscribe and if you want to check out my other videos, then you know where to go. But this will be it for now, guys. I will see you in the next video, and thank you so much for watching. Bye.